Well, good morning, and we're back at the work table, and this morning we're going to do the cement work on this thing. And yesterday, when I did the soldering video, I alluded a couple of times to what would I do to repair what I would call a blowout, or when you're soldering on this stuff, and I mentioned this before, but lead doesn't really melt as much as it just vaporizes. It just goes away. So, and I really spent some time on that video explaining how you get reasonably good solder joints. And if you're down on one of these joints for too long and the lead disappears, and it'll just be a gaping hole there, and then you're going, oh man, what am I going to do now? Well, the way I fix those, and I should have shown you, but I hated to blow one out and then have to fix it. But this is 3/16 lead. So, for instance, say that let's take this one here, then that's close enough. We blew out this intersection right here. There's 3/16 foil. So, what I would do, the hole, let me get something to mark with here. The hole is, say, going to be somewhere about right there. You're going to have a hole that big. So what I would do is take the foil and go right over that area right there. See that? Okay, and then a little more foil right here if you need to. Okay, and there you've bridged that hole in there. And then what I would do then, if you come down on this foil with your soldering iron right off, it'll want to lift up. So just put a little foil, a little solder rather, right on this edge right here, and that's going to hold that side down. Then a little more solder on this side, that'll hold it down there, and then over here. And then just coat that area with solder, and you're done. That actually, look how fast that was. And I'm using 3/16 lead, so 3/16 foil will fit right on it. We'll get it off there. All right. In a second, what are we going to use to get it off there with? Here we go. All right. So, we're just going to start this whole program here and show you how I do this. Okay, there are so many different mixtures of cement. There are people real funny about the cement. If they've come up with a way to make their own, then everybody else's is not as good as theirs, and on and on and on. So I don't pay attention to that. I just do what I'm doing. And I have found a product that somebody makes it. I don't know the name of the company, but it's called Miracle Mud, 2 words. That's what I use. And for those that want to make their own with linseed oil and glazing compound and whatever you want to make it with, I've made it all for years. I mean, I've been doing this for 50 years, so Miracle Mud has not been around that long. I used to make my own stuff. I like this stuff. Real easy to work with. I can get it the consistency I want it. It stays, on the product or in the panel for a long time. I've got old windows that have this stuff in it. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. I just take one of these plastic jugs here. This one's a peanut jug. I cut the top off of it because I'm going to use it this one time. Now here's another jug. It's got a whole bunch of this Miracle Mud in it. And see, it's real white colored looking. Just off gray. So we want to mix enough really for both sides of this thing. Or I don't really have to mix up both sides at one time, but we'll mix up plenty in case I want to flip this thing over and just keep going. And we're going to solder or cement both sides. Oh, goodness, I'm saying wrong words all the time. So here we go. We're just going to mix up some of this. And I don't want to mix too much because this stuff is not cheap, by the way, either. So somebody's got their own stuff and it's cheaper. I'm not telling anybody what to do. Just do what you want to do with yours. And this is what I'm going to do with this one. Okay, and this also comes with a liquid. I pour it up. The bottles come and they kind of collapse a little bit, so I just poured it into this bottle. There's not much in here, so we'll have to get some out of that big bottle. This is an old one I used. Now, and this is where you mix it to the consistency that you want. And that's, we're going to have too much liquid, I think. That's all right. We'll just get some more, get this where you can see it. We'll just get more Miracle Mud if we need it. I didn't mix that much here. There's enough here to probably get us going on this side. And it's so easy to mix. Just mix some more. I thought I had too much liquid there, and I'm actually going to need to put a little bit more, maybe. I don't know. The more you mix it, the better idea you get of how well you're doing with it. I want to make sure you can see what I'm doing here. Just mixing it up. Actually, we're getting real close to right here. So you want it to be able to be loose enough to slide under the lead came. Boy, I don't know. I think I could use it. We'll wait till we get it mixed. It's like anything else associated with these windows is make sure you know where you are before you add any more anything. That's like soldering or the rest of any of it. When I was working on this window over here, I was careful about the grinding, because you can grind yourself into a bad spot. Boy, this is starting to come out. This might be just right. Yeah, see, my tendency there was to add some more liquid, and if I'd have done that, then I'd have to add more cement because I would have put too much liquid in. Okay, so let's get this out of there. As much of it as we can get out of there. And you can mix it in a container that's got smoother bottom if you want to. I mean, these are, don't cost anything, and then I get done with it, just throw it away. Okay. Now, all I'm going to do, I want to make sure I have 2 pairs of gloves on here, because I don't want this thing to bleed through and get all my hands messed up. Okay, now what we're going to do is and now you don't want to be pressing here too hard. In fact, I think I'm going to move this thing. I'll do it more on this side rather than climb across the table there. Let's just go on this side. And see what I'm doing is I'm just rubbing that cement under the edge of the cane, whether it's zinc cane or lead cane. See this? This is maybe my close to the least favorite thing to do, because there's no skill involved in this, but it's certainly something that's part of the process. You need to do this. And what this does, this mud, cement, strengthens this panel, makes it more rigid, which is good. And if this window were going to go outside, which none of these stained glass windows go outside much anymore, they always put some sort of glazing behind them. But if it were to go outside, this waterproofs it. Plus, on any leaded panel, there's going to be a little rattling. There's not much here. These are actually, I fit them pretty tight. But the little bit of rattling where the glass moving inside of the frame of the lead. And so this eliminates that. Makes it, and you're going to do this on both sides. And so it doesn't, on a panel like this doesn't take that long. See, we're just coming across the middle here. Picking up some of this stuff so we can get it to go further. Kind of making sure you've covered every interior of every one of these. We definitely didn't mix up too much. The interior of each one of these pieces. Oop. See, and I'm trying to pick up the excess and come down this way. Just shoving it under the edge of the lead king. And what this will do, oh, I should mention, this, I don't know whether you can see this or not, there's still all the flux on here from soldering this thing yesterday. And people are worried about, what are you got to get that flux off. Boy, people have some sort of fear of flux. And I'm using this, do it again. Where is it? There it is. Classic 100 gel flux. That's the stuff I like. It works very well. No spatter. Okay. See, now I'm going to come down here and peel out some of this and go down this way. So there's not much to this. There's certainly no skill involved. It's just something that you learn to do, and you just do it. Now I'm running my finger down through here and just gathering up any extra before I leap into this other pile. There's no use wasting it. So anyway, I didn't see any point to, what's the point of cleaning the flux off? You know, I'm rubbing it off right now. Now, if this was a foil window, well, yeah, I get the flux off. And I don't use any, you know, heavy-duty methods to do that. Just a little bit of Windex on a paper towel, wipe it off. That flux, the 100, classic 100 gel flux, is not real aggressive. And so it's not eating up the foil, which everybody seems to be worried about. See here, we're just rubbing this stuff, you know, in. Get a little here. Heck, we're going to be halfway through this thing. Well, I swear less than 5 minutes. Now, it's a little longer to clean it up. Now, there's another area of controversy. That's one of the reasons that all the information that I have available anymore is just on my page, because I would go, there's other pages that are like stained glass helper pages. People go there with all kinds of problems, and then they say, well, I've got a problem with, I can't get the cement to work, or I can't get it off, or whatever. And then people answer their queries, questions, concerns. The only problem I had with all of that was that somebody would come on there and say, the cement I'm using just seems too dry. And here comes 40 different answers to that question. Now I'm thinking I'm the person that doesn't know what to do with my dry cement. And after I read 40 different methods to fix my problem, I'm more confused than I was to start with. So, of course, I would come on there and say, well, here's what you may want to try. And then if you come on there, you know, and I certainly wasn't trying to come on there as a know-it-all, because I don't know it all. Then you get 2 or 3 people come on and attack you for, you can't do that, you can't do this, that's a mistake. Like my one time at a method, one piece at a time method. There's some woman on one of those pages that just took me to task. That doesn't work. You can't do it that way. And I'm sitting here with pieces of glasswork worth thousands of dollars, you know, all over the country that are, you know, beautiful pieces of work, and she's telling me it doesn't work, you know, and that irritates me. So then I'd say, well, yes, and then I'd send her or give her an example of it. And then I thought, why am I arguing with somebody who obviously does not have an open mind and just doesn't want to hear what I've got to say? So I thought, you know what? So I went up against that several times on those. I see a little bit of, I don't know if you can see that, it's a little bronze wool. A little more. I went up against that several times on those pages, and I recommend people to go to those pages and learn all you can learn, you know. But I'm as we used to say in the submarine force, I'm going to watch from the bridge. And I'm not going to get involved in that because people want to argue, and then I get on there and it irritates me, and then the last thing I want to do is come on there as some egomaniacal, know-it-all glass person, because I am not. All I know is what has worked for me putting these windows together, and I do a lot of work. Now, certainly there are people that say, well, yeah, you could do a lot better work too. Well, I agree. That's why I'm trying to work all the time to learn more, to get better. But anyway, I mean, anybody that's followed me for any length of time knows this is nonstop. I won't anymore get off this window until we're off on another one. So I've picked up some knowledge, some techniques, and I watch other people's stuff trying to learn more, trying to figure out a way to get this to work better. See how we're just shoving this under the... Man, you can't even see what I'm doing here. There. We're just shoving this stuff underneath the edge of that cane. We definitely did not make too much of this. So we're going to gather up some of this here and just keep moving toward the center now. So I decided, well, you know, I don't like arguing with people. I used to. But that's just not a good place, being arguing. So I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to get off those pages. So I unjoined them, if there's such a word. And now they don't post that stuff for me to see and get irritated about. And I just concentrate on getting the work done that's already in the queue in this place, and trying to put out these videos to help people that are trying to learn how to do this. And of course we all, I mean, it would go without saying that these are just my methods. I'm not saying this is the best way to do it. There are people that are more accomplished than I am. I'm going to use both hands here, why not? Although this is only one glove, I'm not going to get wild with it. And more accomplished than I am. And they're not on my page watching me. They don't need me. So I'm trying to help the people that are having some issues, that are early into this, don't know what they're doing yet. If they know what they're doing, they're trying to get better at what they're doing. That's who our target group is. Anybody that's trying to learn. Now, we're going to come, I was about to mention earlier, we're going to come to another area of controversy here on the cement. And that is getting it cleaned up. And then here we go. The argument starts. But most people that cement their windows clean these up with whiting. And whiting is just plaster of Paris. It's a white powder. And I have a jug of it up here. I wouldn't get it out. I don't think I need to get it out to show you. It's just white powder, plaster of Paris. And it's a good cleaning agent. And what it's doing, it's cleaning up the extra cement. Boy, we're getting a job on this thing. It's cleaning up the extra cement. Let me get up here. We stopped. Didn't get this over here. Whoop, let me show you so you can see. And so that it cleans up the residual cement and polishes the glass up at the same time. But I'm really not so interested in the polishing because I've got some final cleanup to do that I don't really need the polishing part of it. So years ago, I was doing the plaster Paris stuff, and man, it dust everywhere. So I thought, gosh, I wish there was another way out of that. That stuff's just too dusty. All over white, all over the place. I had a vacuum out and all that, but I mean, come on. I thought that was just too much. Well, look, see what we're doing right now? We're just massaging it in this way, all around. And so I thought, well, I had a cabinet shop going at the time. I was doing a lot of furniture work at the same time. So I said, you know what else I'll do? I bet sawdust would be less messy and dusty. So I put sawdust on there. That worked better than this, less mess than the whiting, but it still made a mess. So I thought, well, all right, I guess I'm just going to have to live with that. See what we're doing now? We're going different directions. And you can see now, what was the point of cleaning all that flux off? Who cares? That flux is long gone. Okay, now what I want to do, okay. Well, I'm trying to decide if I want to go this way. Ooh, that thing got hard. Now what I'm doing, don't rub down this way, rub straight up and down, and that kind of cleans it up just a little bit. We're deciding, I'm looking at the best way to go here to clean this thing up. So now I've got a different tool here. I think we'll go this way. So what we're going to do is going to go around here and just take and not even mess with these little chunks that are coming out. I'll show you what we're going to do with those. This is the first round of cleanup. So why don't we just go all the way around this thing so we don't get lost. I usually take different methods to try to always come up with what is the best way to get this done. And see what we plan to do here. We've got all these little balls of cement out of the edge here. We're going to get the vacuum cleaner out and suck those up. And then clean it again with a brush. See, now we're on this outside. You can certainly use your own ideas on this part. Now, Allie, when we fire the vacuum, Allie, that's my collie, when we fire the vacuum up, Allie is no fan of the vacuum. So she starts that weird barking. I'm going to look at my... I think you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, where are we? Right here. We're going to pick up a lot of cement this time around when we suck it up, and then we'll do this again probably. She's already, I can hear Allie getting ready to start barking. She's anticipating. She knows this noise is ahead of the vacuum noise, so she wants to make sure she's ready. This will start to look pretty good here pretty soon. And we've got to do the same thing on the other side, so we won't video the other side. We'll just do video this side. We're very close to the vacuum. Okay, a little bit more right here. I don't think we missed anything. If we did, we can certainly get it. Okay, so let's take the first round. I've got my old school. There we go. Here she goes. You love that vacuum. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. She'll calm down after a while. I holler at her, but what's the point? Now we'll get the big chunks here first. Then we'll put the brush on it. I thought maybe I put the brush on it to start with. I thought, you know, maybe I don't have enough. I've got a small enough amount of cement that the brush will work, but had a little bit too much cement for that. So we're just getting the big chunks off here. We're just getting whatever will get picked up. Then we'll come in and start brushing it real lightly. Okay, let's take a... So you're going straight up and down. You don't want to go this way because you don't want to tear it out. Straight up and down. Now, see there. Now, see then, probably after this step is where people put the whiting in. But I'm going to clean it up. And if they want to put, if you want to put some whiting on yours, go right ahead. Certainly not against the rules. I'm just showing you how I'm doing it. You can adapt your own method, whatever works for you. This gets rid of a lot of it, I'll tell you that. Allie, that's starting to get irritating. she stops. Sometimes she'll stop for a couple of minutes. Trying to back up so you can see what I'm doing here. There's another step after this I wanted to see. Nope. A little more refinement of the cleaning. Now when you get this done on both sides and let it dry for a day or so, then we add the patina. I'll video that too. See how this is just cleaning up. Just moving the brush around different directions. Definitely trying to stay straight up and down. You don't want it to go sideways and brush that stuff out. That's a parts brush you find at like O'Reilly's or Napa auto parts store. Or I guess if they have a car part section, part of Home Depot or Lowe's. Menards has them. Okay, now let's go with the next brush. This brush here is a little bit finer. You see, I'm still straight up and down. See this? I like this brush. It's a little bit finer, softer. And now it's doing a better job getting down to the nitty-gritty. And I get it down this far, then I just rub it down with a soft cloth paper towel, and more or less there. Then I'll run back over it after it's dry with a little bit of steel wool, because we're going to patina the thing. Steel wool, bronze wool, whatever you want to use. We're going to see here in just a minute how well this does. And I've eliminated, at least in my opinion, I've eliminated that mess with that whiting. And we're still straight up and down, see, so we're not taking anything out of the sides of the cement that's run up inside of the king. Since we used up all of the cement that's on this side, I think I'll let this dry an hour or two, flip it over and cement the other side, since we used it all up, because I got to make another batch. See, and you can't hurt it to go back over it. You see, I'm circular, straight back and forth, diagonal. And then you can, when this dries, you can, let me get got this little fine tip. See, that's going to come down and get the tiny little spots that you didn't get. See there? Up in these corners. that. Tiny little bits there. Up in these corners. Some right here. Some right there. There's a little bit extra right there. Right in the corner there. And if you look through there, you can see that flux. That flux is on the other side. Well, that flux will go off when we do the other side. No reason to worry about it. See here how you do it? Just go back and forth, touching up any area that has a little bit of residual cement. Well, we're getting a job on this thing. And we'll end up with a really beautiful window here before we get done with it. That's it for the time being. Okay. I see a spot right there. And if a few little crumbs fall on it, don't worry about it. We'll come back and vacuum it. This came off my gloves. This stuff's coming off my glove. Doesn't hurt anything. Well, I'll take this off. I'll come back and let's do that. I don't want to leave that on there. Now see, you can come back. Dust it off some more. You can't hurt it. Starting to take on that. Now let's stop here. Starting to take on that old world look now. Looking very sharp. Boy, the black patina on this thing, and we're going to have something special. Okay, well that's cementing. That's it. Now, I'll come back, steel wool this thing. I thought about rubbing it down with a paper towel. That's really not going to do me any good and just a wasted step. I'll come back and steel wool this thing when I finish the other side. And then steel wool it, vacuum that up real good, apply the patina. We'll show the video on that. And then clean it up and it'll be finished. Okay. Well, that's all I have on this thing. I'm glad you got to be involved in the cementing. Boy, that is a pretty window in there. Look at that. I really like that cluster. All right. Well, that's all I have. If you have questions, be sure and ask. Thank you.